Good morning, grade 8s, and welcome back to WorksheetCloud. Today is such a special day, and you're going to see why a little bit later. This is grade 8 English. I am Mrs. Goslet. I'll be teaching you verbs today. So if you have any questions during the lesson, please send us an email to grade8@worksheetcloud.com. As I said to you, hello, this is a special day today. It could be someone's birthday. So none of you have emailed me saying it's my birthday, but it's okay, because I know there are many of you out there whose birthday month is May. So we are celebrating those people. At the end, I've got a special message just for you. Grab that notebook and the pen, just like usual. If you want to make notes, if you want to maybe write down some hints and clues that I give you that you want to remember for future, please do so. As I said before, we are doing parts of speech today. We started with nouns, pronouns, and we're going to do verbs today. So I hope you're excited to learn something. Okay, there I've got my little wheel, parts of speech. I'll show you every lesson so you can see how far we're getting. We've done nouns, pronouns, and today we're going to be looking at verbs. Now, verbs are very important. In primary school, they teach you, I think, that a verb is a doing word. Now, it's important, if you remember it like that, then that's great. But it's important to know when you come to high school, we don't really refer to it as a doing. That's for you to remember, but it's more of an action. Okay, but verbs are broken into different parts. So let's look at it. What is a verb? And you can write this down and make a note of it if you'd like. So you can just pause the screen. A verb is a word or group of words which tell us what someone or something is doing or being. So verbs are words that express actions. That's why I said it's an action or a state of being. And I've got an action over here. This girl is running. So that is a verb. That is the action she's doing. Swimming, jumping, hiking. Those are all actions. Okay. If you are still not sure and you want maybe a concrete way of doing it, you can maybe test if a word is a verb. And let's look at how we can do this. So firstly, you must ask, can you? Just like I said before, can you run? Yes. Okay, not all of us can run, but the physical trait, you can walk and then just start jogging. That's running. I'm getting complicated here. So you ask, can you, before the verb. So what is the verb in the sentence? Susan is not a verb. She's not, that's her name. We know that is a proper noun. Good. I'm proud of you guys. Then, simple. It's bought. That's an action. So we're going to ask, can you buy? So look here. Susan bought the book. Can you buy? Yes. If you've got pocket money, if you've got money, you've been saving up, you really want this book, you can buy it. That's the action. And that's how you find the verb. Then another way is placing a pronoun in front of the word. If the phrase makes sense, you have found the verb. So let's look at it. Susan bought the book. So now we're going to put a pronoun in front of the verb. She. Remember, that's a pronoun. So she bought. That makes total sense. So the word bought is the verb. This is very technical, but this is a key or a way just to help you identify it. Right, we always look at what are the types. So remember, I tell you that in a test or exam, you will get a table and they will have a text and they will underline the words. And you must identify what part of speech And remember, we've done nouns, pronouns, verbs. So you can identify part of speech, verbs. But then they want to know the type. And these are the different types of verbs. Now, I've seen the first two come up a lot in tests or exams. And the first one is very simple and easy to understand. Okay, so action verbs. Then linking verbs, and then we get finite verbs, auxiliary, or we call them helping verbs. Just to make it not such a scary word, auxiliary. That sounds very out there. So always link auxiliary with helping. Let's look at our first type, action verbs. Just like in the example I gave you earlier, running. Running is an action. So, physical actions. You give somebody a present. You eat a muffin or a burger. You walk outside. That's the action. Then we spoke about, I think, state of being. I think earlier. But now let's look at this. Mental actions. So you can hope for a better day. You can want that cupcake. Okay, and these are also action verbs. They can either be transitive or intransitive. Now, sometimes in a test or exam, in the language section, they could ask you, look at the following sentence and identify whether it's transitive or intransitive. And usually, you would write transitive, and then they ask, give a reason. And the reason is always going to be transitive verbs have a direct object. Sometimes they might ask you to identify the direct object. Intransitive always does not have a direct object. So if you can remember that, you're going to get 2 easy marks. So let's look at transitive. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I said, when a verb has a direct object, it is a transitive verb. So we're still part of the action, okay? So, look at the sentence. Squirrels collect nuts. Now, your first thing you need to do when identifying if it's transitive or intransitive is what? Find the verb. So in the sentence, I know it's a simple one, but we're going to go with basic. Squirrels collect nuts. The action that they're doing is collecting. So collect is the verb. Now, how do I find out where the direct object is? Because if there's a direct object, it's going to be transitive. So I ask the question, who or what after the verb? And that is how you find direct objects. You should have been taught this in primary school, but it's okay if you forgot it, but you must know it. That's how you find it. You can't just guess. Okay. So we ask the question, squirrels collect who or what? And it answers the question of what. So the what is the nuts. Squirrel collect what? Nuts. So have a look here. The squirrel is the subject. It's doing the action of collecting. So collecting is the verb, or collect. And the nuts is the direct object. So therefore, it is a transitive verb. Collect, transitive verb. It has a direct object, nuts. And it might sound a bit technical, so if you want to replay this, please do so. We're going to look at another example. So I want you to pause and identify what is the verb. That's your first step. Then I want you to ask the question, who or what after the verb? If you find an answer, then that is your direct object. Okay, let's go through it. It's obviously on the screen, but hopefully you found the verb, which is raised. The subject, the boy. So we ask the question, the boy raised what? and because it is his hand, it's answering the question of what. Therefore, it is a direct object. That means raised is a transitive verb. Now remember I spoke to you about the table. Now the table is asking for a part of speech and a type. So the type is action. Alright. Only later on in the language section will they give you maybe a sentence and ask you, is it transitive or intransitive? Okay, so that's how they would test this one. Let's look at intransitive verbs. Again, I said to you, if it's intransitive, the verb does not have a direct object. Intransitive verbs make sense on their own. They do not need an object to receive the verb's action. Okay, so your socks smell. Okay, so what would be the verb? Your socks smell. The boat sank. The telephone rang. So the action is smell, sank, rang. But you can see there's nothing after here. So you can ask the question who or what after the verb, but there's nothing. Your socks smell. Smell like what? I'm trying to think what socks can smell like. Okay, so you get the idea. So if there is no direct object, it is going to be intransitive. Okay. Then this one, some of you mix this up with auxiliary. A linking verb does not express action. So remember, action is run, walk, swim, jump. Action. Instead, they connect, that's important. They connect the subject of the verb to additional information about the subject. So if we look at this sentence, Kayla is the subject, and we are told more information about her. I can totally relate to Kayla. I'm also a shopaholic, especially during this lockdown. I'm losing my words today. Lockdown, because, you know, there's so many 10%, 15% off, and you think that's a bargain. You just end up spending money. But yes, I am a shopaholic, but it's okay, I think. So Kayla is the subject, and it's telling us more about what she's like. She's a shopaholic. She's not busy shopping, okay? So if you take is out, then it will be Kayla a shopaholic. That's not a complete sentence. So if you can try remember, linking makes it connect. Okay, connecting, linking. Look at this one. She is beautiful. There's no action. No one's doing anything. She is the subject and is telling us more about her. She's beautiful. She's attractive. She's pretty. But if we didn't have this connecting, linking word to the subject and to the adjective or whatever's afterwards, then it would read, she beautiful. Now, we don't talk like that. We don't say, she beautiful. I tired. I tired. They, superheroes. It's not a complete sentence. So if you can try remember and look at the sentence, there's no action. It's telling us more about the subject. It's linking. If it was not there, it would not be a complete sentence. It's grammatically incorrect. Okay. Now the tricky part is linking verbs are very similar looking to auxiliary, because auxiliary also uses is, am, was, are, were, those, so they look the same. But I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but an auxiliary verb tells us is and then the action. Okay, but we'll get there now. I get so excited about verbs. Finite verbs. Okay, I always give this little acronym. It's very well known. SNOT. But now my learners, or you'll say, but ma'am, there's no O. So keep the no together. So the S stands for subject, the no stands for number, and the T stands for tense. Now to find out if a verb is finite, you have to have all three. So here's an example. She plays. So plays is the verb. It must have a subject. You can't just go plays. Who's playing? The subject, she. So pretend, or even write this down and have a little tick. I like making lists. I like having structure. So when you are in doubt, write down snot and write subject. Look at the example. Is there an S? Tick it. We found the subject, she. Now I've just given, we can stick with she plays. Now the number. Try and remember that number just means if it's singular or plural. So she plays. Okay, so I'll just go to this one. It's just a bit easier. The boy plays soccer. Okay, there's one boy, he's playing soccer, so it's singular. The boys play soccer. That's plural. There are many playing. Okay. So if, for example, this one, you would tick subject, she plays. This NO is the number. Singular, tick. Now all we need to know is there a tense. 100%. She plays. What tense is that? Present. Okay, if it was ED, the boys played, past tense. So because this sentence, she plays, okay, whatever, soccer, plays is the verb, it has a subject, it has a number, and it has a tense, therefore it is a finite verb. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Then I spoke a little bit about auxiliary verbs. Now this is the helping. It needs this word to help it. So you don't say the learners writing in class. This is the action verb. This is the auxiliary. It needs that auxiliary to help it. Okay, so an auxiliary verb helps a non-finite verb become finite. So if you look, how would they ask this in a test? They will definitely underline R, or they could underline R writing, and then you'd have to break it up. R, auxiliary, writing, present participle, verb, action verb. Okay, so I'll say the most popular one is an action verb, but it's important to be able to identify all of these types. You also get verb tenses, and that's just the tense of the verb. Okay, like I said there, writing, ED, and present. Let's do an activity together. Let's see if you can do this. Pause the screen, put in the action verbs, and let's see if you got it right. This is very simple. I don't want to bog you down with difficult ones because there will be an activity for you to do just to get you warmed up. David had to something. She would something. The player had to something. The baseball player something. I something. All right, pause it, write it down. We're going to look at the answers. David had to run to class because he was late. I hope some of you do this. Run, 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 get to class. Don't just come strolling in. Hey, ma'am. Then number 2, she would play the game with her friend. The player had to jump to catch the ball. The baseball player hit the ball very far. And lastly, I walked to school in the morning. So those are the appropriate verbs. Then pause the screen again. See if you can match and put them in the right sentence. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers with you. My brother made me cry because he hit me. Oh dear, that's not good. Number 2, My teacher said to add the numbers together. You'll never hear me saying that. Number 3, I made a promise to my mom to behave better. Well, that's a tricky one, hey? Number 4, my friend had to whisper quietly in the church. Number 5, my mom wanted a kiss on the cheek. Oh, so sweet. I hope you all spoilt your moms for Mom's Day. We're going to look at what we did today. So we looked at verbs, and previously we looked at nouns and pronouns, and we're going to look at adverbs in the next lesson. So I'd love for you to join me again for that. There is an activity, I did mention that, for you to do on verbs. And then again, if you have any questions, please email us grade8@worksheetcloud.com. And then I did say that today was a special day. Whoa! I totally look ridiculous, but I love the big hair. So this is for you guys. If you have a birthday in May, I dressed up, my hair's in my face, sorry, for you, because I really want you to feel special on your birthday. So here goes nothing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear May babies. Happy birthday to you. Happy! And then I got another number for you. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause it's your birthday, just the way you are. And then I got a little something for you, a little cupcake. I actually give my kids chocolates, but I actually don't have any of that in the house. And then I don't have a candle, so I got a candle for you. So if you'd like to blow it out for me. I hope you have a fantastic day and that all your friends sent you lots of messages. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. Dum 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 dum. Happy birthday! Guys, thanks so much for watching. This lesson was brought to you by WorksheetCloud. I hope you learned something today. And again, to all my birthday people out there, go shawty. It's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Bye, grade 8s.